I want to talk to you guys today about this one habit that makes most men fat and it keeps them fat. So in order to not be fat, it's very important that you remove this habit or you can replace this habit with something else. And I'll go into that into more detail later in the video. But I want to talk about this one habit that keeps most men fat, and that's basically overeating. Or I should say, you're using food as your dopamine. And using food as your dopamine is a very, very dangerous thing because it can make it worse for yourself. Because if like the entire day you think about food, you're just going to end up eating when you're not hungry. You're going to end up getting into these, binge eat cycles, and you're going to end up overeating. And that just leads to you eating out of discomfort. And then you just end up feeling guilty about yourself, which obviously is a good thing to feel guilty about it, because, if you don't feel guilty, then you clearly don't really care. And it clearly shows that you don't have a regret on that habit that you're doing. So in order to tackle this, simple things that you guys can do is, whenever you feel, have a sense of stress, you have any sense of emotion, whether you're depressed in any type of certain way, then I want you to simply go out and go for a walk, or go do some exercise, and, do some stretching, read a book. Don't scroll on your phone, because then when you scroll on your phone and you're just sitting at home all day, then your brain is just, of course, your brain's just gonna start to think about food. And we don't want to think about food, especially when it comes to fat loss as well. The only time you should think about food is when you're supposed to have that meal. But other than that, if you don't have that meal, then let's say if it's the end of the day and you're just thinking about food, you're stressed out and depressed, then it's going to put you at the risk of eating out of discomfort. And so that leads to more bad habits start creeping in, which is, leading to you overeating, leading to you binge eating. And then you just become comfortable, and then you just start to, binge eat even more. And every time you're bored, when you feel bored and food is your dopamine, this is the other habits that can lead to other habits starting to creep in. And in order to tackle this, again, you must just go outside, go for a walk, or do some sort of exercising, or do some stretching, or talk to your friends, or listen to music, whatever it may be. As long as your solution is not to eat out of comfort, because that's going to keep you fat, especially in a calorie deficit as well, because one day of binge eating can actually ruin your entire progress. I'm not even joking, it can actually ruin your entire progress, especially for that entire 6 days of you, getting your discipline points, working, eating in a calorie deficit consistently for 6 days. And then that 7th day, you're suddenly stressed and you just decide to eat out of discomfort. Because I guarantee you're going to be having stress. You're going to be having a sense of bad emotion, which is stress. You're going to start to experience stress, or maybe depression as well, when you're on a cut, trying to lose body fat. I can guarantee you're going to be feeling these type of emotions. And so it's very important to stay active and stay busy when you're on a cut, because that's just going to lead to you, not thinking about food and not having food as your dopamine. So to simply not have food as your dopamine, you need to replace what's in your dopamine with something else. You need to replace it with something that's going to make you feel better afterwards. So that's it from me. If you find this video helpful, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel, comment, share, all of this good stuff. And I'll see you lot in the next video.